Today, we're diving deep into the psychology of self-improvement, the power of truth, and the path to a truly meaningful life. This isn't just about small tweaks, it's about radical transformation for anyone, man or woman, ready to claim their full potential. The most dangerous question you can ask yourself. People often fear asking stupid questions. But here's a secret: if you dare to ask a challenging question in a room, 80% of the people are silently wondering the same thing. You ask it, you get the answer, and in that moment, you cease to be ignorant about that topic. You've made a micro-improvement, and that progress is permanent. Now, apply that to your own life. One night, when you're alone, you need to sit down and ask yourself a question, and you must mean it. You have to be desperate, seeing clearly that your life is not everything you want or need it to be. The need I speak of is a profound one. When life becomes unbearable, when suffering breeds nihilism, cynicism, and resentment, driving you to see evil everywhere except within your own heart, that's a problem, and you're ready for change. Ask yourself this: what is one thing I am doing wrong, that I know I am doing wrong, that I could fix, and that I would fix? Meditate on that. You will get an answer. It won't be the one you want, but it will be the necessary one. It will often point you towards surprisingly small, concrete actions. Start making those micro-improvements, real, on-the-ground changes to things you know are wrong. You will improve unbelievably rapidly. The most successful people I know are brutally truthful with themselves, and they lead incredibly adventurous lives as a result. The adventure of the truth. Try an experiment: get rid of everything you say only to impress others. See if you can, just for one day, say only what you genuinely believe to be true. That is an adventure. If you are not speaking the truth, who, or what, is talking? If you say something you do not believe, it's not you talking. It might be the manipulative part of you, the part trying to extract what you think you want from another person. What is that spirit of manipulation that you've allowed to possess you? It's not the authentic you. Consider the student who writes an essay aimed solely at what the professor wants to hear to get a good grade. They've crafted their words instrumentally. But even if they get the grade, the false self, the manipulative self, got it, not them. Do this your whole life, and you haven't lived your life. You've lived the life of whatever spirit possessed you in the moment of manipulation. This is a pathway to bitterness because you are denying yourself the experience of your own destiny. The power of reading: gaining 30 years in 6 months. One of the greatest shortcuts to becoming competent is learning from the experiences of others. You don't have to go through the school of hard knocks yourself. If you read enough, you are capturing decades of distilled lessons. I remember one person sharing about reading a demanding military memoir while on deployment. By reading just 2 pages a night, he absorbed lessons that directly correlated with the situations he was facing. Seeing something one time can make you infinitely better than if you'd never seen it before. A riddle or a mind bender only works once. Once you know the answer, you're never fooled again. Reading is collecting the answers to life's hardest riddles. When you read a truly great work, especially a demanding scientific or philosophical text, you can try on the mind of the author. You gain the benefit of their entire life, their 30 years of work, distilled into a single book. For instance, absorbing a work like a complex scientific text on neurological disorders, a challenging scientific work with hundreds of references, took one reader 6 months, but he received an entire education, experiencing in half a year what took the author 30 years to learn. What an unbelievable gift! Even more impactful is the study of language itself. Take the work of Shakespeare. People often think they can just pick it up and instantly understand it. They can't. It's almost a different language, which forces you to interpret. You realize the immense weight of the words, so pregnant with meaning that you have to parse them, pull them apart, to see the depth of each one. This disciplined approach to language is what makes you formidable. Every word is an ancient artifact with an evolutionary history. You think and speak in words. The more you know about them, their root words, their history, their ecosystem, the more you know about yourself and others. The better you are at formulating and communicating your ideas. There is nothing but gain in that kind of investigation. Competent and dangerous, the moral endeavor of articulation. Your ambition, if you have any sense, is to become competent and dangerous, not vague and useless. The most exceptional form of the capacity to be dangerous is to be articulate. This is a moral endeavor in a very real sense. To become articulate is to become the master of your own tongue, your own mind. Every advantage in life, every opportunity, is amplified by your ability to think and communicate. But what does it take to become this articulate, formidable person? 1. Fix the small things you repeat every day. People often repress the things they don't want to face, they just fail to unpack them. A chaotic room makes you anxious because it represents too many unorganized pathways and possibilities. Order your room. It is a micro-improvement that creates an immediately better state of being. Don't overlook the things you do every day, thinking they're trivial. Your routines, getting up, brushing your teeth, having breakfast, likely constitute 50% of your life. Those are the most important things you do, hands down. If something in that daily routine announces itself to you as needing repair, fix it. Fix 100 things like that, and your life will be profoundly different. 2. Compare yourself to yourself. One of the most destructive habits is comparing yourself to others. There are always people who are doing better than you on any given metric. This is a poor comparison because they are not you. You don't know the struggles they undertook or the burdens they currently carry. The only valid comparison is, compare yourself to who you were yesterday. You can actually tell when you are a little better than you were yesterday. This is the only way of truly measuring proper improvement. You can actively make yourself a little better in some small way every single day. 3. Embrace the struggle. We are built to walk uphill. When you reach the top of a hill and appreciate the vision, the next thing you want is a higher hill in the distance. We are built for struggle, and we are built for weight. You grow in proportion to the burden you take on voluntarily. Your life doesn't have meaning without aspiration, without an aim. You need a hierarchy of values, there has to be something important at the top. The moment you criticize the idea of a hierarchy of values, you destroy the idea of aspiration, and people are left with nothing. You need a problem worth solving, something so necessary that you have a reason to get out of bed in the morning, no matter what you are suffering from. That sense of purpose is the antidote to bitterness. The idea of endless luxury on a beach is a vision of aimless, drug-induced unconsciousness. It will only work for about a week before you become depressed, aimless, and goalless. No. You want to be an active warrior, moving uphill with your sword in hand. That is dynamic, that is exciting. The ultimate weapon, learn to write. The single best piece of advice I can give you is, learn to write. Writing is formalized thinking. There is no difference between learning to write and learning to think. Thinking makes you act effectively in the world, thinking makes you win the battles you undertake. Here is the process. Identify a problem. Why write if you don't have a problem? Pick a problem that truly grips you, that you desire to investigate. Read widely, read as much as you can that addresses that problem. The sorting process, summarize what you've learned, iron out the contradictions between your sources, and formulate your ideas elegantly. You choose the right words, the right phrases, the right sequence of paragraphs to form a coherent argument. In this process, you are integrating your own personality at the highest, most abstract level of organization. You are sharpening your tools and putting yourself straight because you are learning to think. If you are an effective writer and speaker, you have all the authority and confidence there is. You become unstoppable. Take on a heavy burden voluntarily. See what you can do out in the world while you're waiting to die. It's an all-in game, and it better be worthwhile. We're built to walk uphill, and it is from the uphill climb that we derive our value. Almost all the positive emotion we feel, especially the enthusiasm that fills us, is experienced in relation to a goal. In some sense, you want a goal you can never attain, one that continually recedes as you move towards it. That's not frustrating, it means you are continually putting yourself together, and your life gets better, richer, and more abundant. That is what you are here to do. You are here to live, not to sleep. On this channel, The Raw Relationship Truth, I share science-based insights to help you understand your value and build the strong, loving relationships you deserve. Subscribe to the channel and join our community. And please, like this video, it really helps me create more content. Thank you for watching.